Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into something pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
It's Arnold Bennett's book, How to Live on 24 Hours a Day. It's over a century old, but wow, does it hit home today. Yeah, let's jump right into this core metaphor he uses. It's like, imagine time is this invisible bank account, right? And every morning, you, our listener, you get exactly 24 golden coins deposited. 24 hours.
Right. Non-negotiable.
Totally. You can't save them, can't transfer them. And here's the kicker. If you haven't, spent them with purpose by midnight, poof, they just vanish.
Gone.
So our mission today really is figuring out how to stop just letting those coins disappear on, well, random stuff and start actually investing that time currency to build the kind of life you really want.
It's such a powerful way to frame it, isn't it? Because it makes you face time as this really precious, finite thing we often just fritter away. And Bennett's big insight, the whole point of the book really is that the most successful people, the CEOs, the creators, they operate on the exact same 24 hours we all do.
No extra hours for them.
None. Their success isn't about having more time. It's about how they use that identical amount of time. It's a very different approach.
Which flies right in the face of what you hear constantly, right?
Yeah.
That feeling of, man, I'm so stressed, I just don't have enough time. It's like this background hum of anxiety for so many people.
Exactly. And Bennett just cuts right through that. He says that's the big illusion we need to break. Time, he argues, is the ultimate equalizer, the great leveler.
Right.
You can't buy an extra hour. You can't stockpile minutes for later. Everyone gets the same 24. So the difference between, say, incredible achievement and feeling constantly behind, well, it can't be the amount of time you have.
Okay, so the amount is fixed. That's the constant.
Yep.
So the variable, the thing we can actually tweak, is the quality of how we use it, our application of that time.
That's precisely it. And that's what Bennett means when he says, and this quote is key, time is the only thing we equally get, but unequally use.
Unequally use.
That inequality in usage is where everything changes. One person takes those 24 hours and turns them into this huge asset learning, building, finding peace, whatever.
While someone else
Lets those same hours just sort of evaporate, maybe through scrolling meme videos, like you said, or just general apathy. The input 24 hours is identical. The output, worlds apart. And it all comes down to being intentional.
Okay, so let's accept that. 24 hours is enough. But it often feels too short, right? So Bennett offers this really practical way to handle that feeling. Break it down. Time fragmentation.
Yeah, instead of seeing this big, daunting block of, say, an evening, you slice it into smaller bits, micro chunks.
And give them a job.
Exactly. Give them a purpose. It's about spotting and grabbing those little bits of time everyone else just dismisses. The 15 minutes on the bus or train.
Or waiting for the kettle to boil, maybe?
Totally. Or waiting for a meeting to start. The average person, they pull out their phone, maybe stare into space. Those moments are just lost.
Let's make that concrete. You mentioned the metro commute example, classic Bennett. So instead of just looking at ads.
Right. You could use that 15 minutes day after day to slowly work through a challenging book on your phone or listen to an audiobook chapter. It adds up.
Or maybe those 5-10 minutes before a Zoom call starts.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
That's enough time for a quick meditation app session. Or maybe listening to just one part of a lecture series. Or even just outlining that difficult email you need to send later.
So extraordinary people aren't finding extra hours magically.
No. They're weaponizing these little gaps, these interstitial moments. Think about it. If you capture just 3 of those 15-minute slots a day, that's nearly an hour right there, saved and invested.
But here's the modern problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
The phone. It feels like it's specifically designed to hijack exactly those little moments.
Oh, absolutely. It's the ultimate thief of small time slots.
You reach for it for a quick check and boom, 15 minutes gone scrolling. How does Bennett's thinking help us fight that pull?
Well, I think it helps by making you see it as a choice, a conscious trade-off. When you grab that phone for mindless scrolling, you're actively choosing to let one of those golden coins just expire. Worthless. Bennett pushes us towards building specific habits for those slots, almost like rituals. So if your train commute is pre-assigned to reading chapter 1, the phone doesn't even get a look in for random stuff.
You preempt the thief.
Exactly. You pre-commit the moment.
Okay, this leads us nicely into probably the biggest mental block for most people, the 9-to-5 grind. That feeling that work just drains everything and there's nothing left.
Ah, yes. The job consumes my life narrative. Yeah. Bennett tackles this head on. It's one of his most counterintuitive points, maybe.
What does he say?
He basically says, hold on, the 9 to 5 is just part of your life. And then he drops this bombshell. Real life actually begins after 5.
Okay, but let's push back a bit here, because I can hear listeners thinking, seriously, after 10 hours of commuting, dealing with my boss, solving problems, I'm exhausted. How am I supposed to find 2 hours for self-growth? Doesn't Bennett account for just plain tiredness?
He does acknowledge it, but he reframes it. He suggests that a lot of that exhaustion isn't purely physical. It's often mental fatigue, maybe from lack of focus or feeling directionless.
Interesting.
Think about it. Even after work, dinner, maybe a bit of winding down, you likely still have, what, 4 or 5 hours available?
Generally.
So the choice becomes, how do you recharge in that time? Do you go for passive consumption, like binge watching something, or endlessly scrolling, which, let's be honest, often leaves you feeling more drained and apathetic?
Guilty as charged sometimes.
Or do you recharge by doing something active, something engaging, something that actually builds a skill or gives you a sense of accomplishment for the future?
So it's intentional rest versus accidental numbing. Okay, let's talk numbers, because you mentioned this calculation.
The math is pretty stark, yeah. Even if you're conservative, let's say you carve out just 2 hours every single day after work for focused self-improvement. A specific project, learning something new, exercise.
Good, 2 hours daily.
That adds up to over 700 hours in 1 year.
700 hours. Wow. Okay, saying it like that really brings it home. That's a massive amount of time.
It is. It's reclaiming ownership.
So if someone actually does that, what's the potential payoff? What's the ROI on 700 hours?
Think about what you could do with 700 focused hours. You could realistically learn a new professional skill to a decent level of competence. You could read, say, 30 or 40 serious books on one topic and become quite knowledgeable.
Or completely change your physical fitness.
Absolutely. A total body transformation is achievable with that kind of dedicated time. So that choice you make each evening between maybe 6 p.m. and bedtime, that daily decision really dictates whether you just kind of float along with everyone else or if you start to seriously pull ahead.
You're either using that after-work time as a dumping ground for tiredness,
or as a workshop for building your future self. It's that clear cut in Bennett's view.
which explains why he uses such strong language about wasting time.
Yeah.
He actually calls it the biggest crime. That sounds extreme, but...
But it makes sense in his framework, right? Time is your most valuable, non-renewable asset. So wasting it is like burning your treasure. It's self-sabotage on a fundamental level.
So if it's a crime, we need to identify the culprits, the time thieves.
Exactly. Forensic accounting for your day. Where is the time actually going? If you feel like you never have enough, who or what is stealing it?
And Bennett's list from 100 years ago. It's weirdly relevant.
Eerily so. He talked about, pointless chatter, obsessive social niceties, low-value entertainment.
Which today translates perfectly to what? Scrolling Instagram endlessly.
Definitely. Getting sucked into WhatsApp group gossip for an hour. Binge-watching entire seasons of mediocre TV shows passively.
Okay, so identifying them is step one.
Yep.
What's the practical insight once you've put a label on these things? Instagram feed, time thief.
It creates distance. It depersonalizes it a bit. The moment you consciously name them and then decide deliberately, okay, I'm cutting this out or reducing it drastically, that's when you regain control.
The hours were always there.
They were just hidden under layers of distraction. You identify the crime, you recover the stolen goods, your time.
Right. So now we've hopefully recovered some of those golden coins. We found 30 minutes here, maybe an hour there, by cutting out the thieves.
Right.
Bennett doesn't just say stop doing bad stuff, though. He tells us where to point that recovered time, doesn't he?
Yes, this is the crucial investment phase. He gives us 3, let's call them secret weapons.
Okay, weapon 1.
Reading. Classic, maybe obvious, but essential. He calls it the gym for your brain. And he means focused, deliberate reading, not just skimming news headlines or light novels.
Stuff that makes you think.
Exactly. Material that challenges you, expands your perspective. It forces a deeper level of concentration than most other things we do.
Okay, weapon 2 is interesting. Thinking. This one needs clarification, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't just mean letting your mind wander, does he?
No, definitely not daydreaming. This is structured reflection. He suggests dedicating, say, 10 minutes every single day, non-negotiable, to basically just talking to yourself.
Like a mental debrief.
Precisely. Asking yourself, what did I actually learn today? What went sideways and why? What's the most important thing I need to tackle tomorrow? This kind of deliberate, solitary thinking. That's where real clarity comes from.
You can't get that clarity if you're constantly just reacting to things all day.
Impossible. You move from just taking in information to actually processing it into wisdom, into strategy.
Okay, and the third weapon?
Writing. He insists you need to write down what you learn, what you think.
Why writing specifically?
Two main reasons, I think. First, discipline. You can't really write clearly about something you don't truly understand. It forces you to organize your thoughts. Second, confidence. Looking back at your notes, your processed thoughts, your plans, it solidifies that feeling of being in control, of making progress. It takes the jumble in your head and gives it structure.
Reading, thinking, writing. So Bennett lays out this incredible promise, right? He says you don't even need to start with those full 2 hours we talked about earlier.
No, the starting point can be much smaller.
He says just invest 30 minutes a day, total. Maybe 10 minutes reading, 10 minutes dedicated thinking, 10 minutes writing down key insights or plans.
Just that, 30 minutes. But, and this is the key, do it consistently.
And the promise.
If you commit to that minimum, day in, day out, you literally cannot be the same person in, say, 2 or 3 years. The cumulative effect is transformative. Your entire self-concept will shift.
But, and here's the big but for everyone, consistency. That's the killer, isn't it? We all start strong.
And then life happens. Motivation fades.
Exactly. How do we overcome that?
Bennett is very clear. This isn't about finding some magic motivation pill. It's not one-night success. His analogy would be like, fitness, you don't get six-pack abs from one workout.
Right. You wouldn't even expect it.
Self-growth is the same. It needs that patient, steady, day-after-day effort, like building muscle.
So let's hammer that number again. The absolute minimum starting point for consistency. 30 minutes.
Every single day. Doesn't matter if you feel like it. Doesn't matter if you're tired. Just do the 30 minutes.
And what does that minimum add up to?
30 minutes a day is 180 hours over a year.
180 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
that's still a really significant chunk of time when you look at it annually.
It's huge. What could you do with 180 focused hours? You could learn the basics of playing the guitar. You could get reasonably proficient in a foundational coding language like Python. You could probably write the first draft of a short book or a series of articles.
The potential is actually massive, even from just 30 minutes a day.
Absolutely. And the crucial point here is separating consistency from motivation. Motivation is fickle. It comes, it goes, it's an emotion.
Yeah, you can't rely on it.
But consistency, that's a behavior, that's the mechanism. It's the thing that guarantees you actually reach the destination, whether you felt pumped on Monday or totally drained on Thursday. You just show up for the minimum.
And that really brings Bennett's whole philosophy full circle, doesn't it?
It does. You can't magically create more than 24 hours. That's fixed. But you absolutely 100% have the power to make the 24 hours you do have extraordinary.
Through intentional choices.
Through intentional application, minute by minute, hour by hour.
So let's leave the listener with a direct challenge then. Start today. Right now, think about one 30-minute block in your typical day that's currently being, well, stolen by one of those thieves. Identify it and make a plan to reclaim it. Invest that 30 minutes instead. Use those 3 weapons. Read, think, write. Just start there.
And remember, Bennett's core message is that the choices you make with your time today aren't just about today. They are actively building the person you will be tomorrow.
Who you're becoming is being forged in those easily overlooked 15-minute gaps and those crucial after-work hours.
Yeah. Neglected or cultivated, it's up to you.
So what does it all boil down to? Bennett gives us this ultimate framework for taking control. Time really is your currency. It's fixed in supply, and it vanishes if you don't use it wisely.
The question is simple but profound.
Are you just spending that currency on fleeting things that leave you with nothing? Or are you deliberately investing every single one of those golden coins into becoming the person you truly want to be?
That question of intentionality, that's the real takeaway. Are you spending or are you investing your time? That's the thought to chew on.